Well, we've reached a very dark day, I think, in world political history. Not one I thought I'd ever see in my lifetime. Donald Trump has just declared Antifa as a terrorist organisation. Now, yes, there might be people involved in it who use that banner and do bad things. But it's basically anyone that's shouting up against fascist tendencies. Now, anyone who's shouting up against fascist tendencies shouldn't be decried as a terrorist. In my book, everyone should be Antifa. Because the opposite is fa, as in you're for fascism. Now, my grandparents didn't go to fight in World War II to then be called later terrorists because they were fighting fascism. Everyone I know has got grandparents or even great-grandparents that fought in World War II, 1939-45 conflict, and they were fighting fascism in Europe. Now, the President of the United States of America is saying that fighting fascism is a terrorist act. What are we supposed to do with that? So, it all came up in Charlottesville. Remember Charlottesville when a white supremacist drove his car at speed into a crowd to kill people. He only killed one person. I say only, one's too many, but he murdered one person. Heather Mayer, I think it was. Now, she died, and Donald Trump at the time was asked for his comment on it. He said, yeah, there's bad people on both sides. Because there were people upset that a white supremacist had murdered somebody by driving their car at them. And because they got angry, they were as bad as... He tried to give a false equivalence that a murderer driving a car at a crowd that are protesting, which is their right in a free country, that people getting upset about him doing that are the same. You know, it beggars belief that we can live in a world where, and then people still support this guy. I mean, if there were people standing outside, let's say Jimmy Savile, and people were complaining about Jimmy Savile, and then someone said, well, they're just as bad as him for complaining. That's what Donald Trump did. The murderer and the people getting upset about the murder were the same. He said they were the same. But he had to say that because he has so much support in white supremacist, racist, full-on racist America. So we are living in a world where if you get upset about someone murdering someone, you're as bad as the murderer. Now, the President of the United States has made it a criminal offence to be associated with anybody complaining about injustice. In fact, as a terror organisation, which he's just declared Antifa, if someone says, well, they're an Antifa member, that's life imprisonment in America. Just put that into perspective. Something happens to a member of your family, a terrible thing, like they're held down by a policeman and murdered, and the whole world's seen it on video. You get angry about that, you're a terrorist, and you're doing life imprisonment for being angry that your brethren, that your family members, that your friends have been murdered. You're not allowed to be angry. Suck it up or go to prison for life. So that sink in. That is where we've come to today. The 31st of May, 2020, in the middle of a worldwide pandemic and, people are losing their lives, Donald J. Trump has made it an offence that can be punished with life in prison for being upset about your family members being murdered in cold blood in the middle of the day for nothing. And he is the President of the United States, and that is what he said, and no one's stopping him. There are UK politicians I've seen on Twitter already supporting it. Well, political people, like the UKIP types, the proper big old far-right Tories, they're going, yeah, good on you, Donald. Unbelievable. And this is where we are. I don't know where we are. I don't know what to say. I'm saying it, but Heather Mayer, in her last Facebook post before she was murdered, the last thing she put on social media before she was murdered was, if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. I think she summed it up. Where we are right now, right this day, this moment in history. If you're not outraged, whichever country you're from, that the President of the United States has made it punishable with life imprisonment for being upset that a family member of yours has been murdered in broad daylight for nothing. If you're not outraged at that, then you certainly aren't paying attention. We're in a bad place at the moment. We're going in a dark road. We need to turn it round, people.